Hey Apprenti-Squad, do you want to get sweet six-pack abs for your cosplay? In today's video, I'm going to show you how in under 30 minutes you can get this exact abdominal look with the bent metal look like Batman, or even more of a natural abdominal look as well. All it takes is one piece of foam, some simple craft supplies, and a few simple techniques. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. So I've already got half of the abs done here on this side, and then I'll show you how to do this technique using the other side of the abs here. So all you need is your heat gun, some EVA foam, and a dope knife to be able to get this ab look that you want. So the basic principle is you want to draw out the shape of the ab that you're wanting to create. So if you're wanting it more rounded, more kind of like an actual looking ab muscle, if you're trying to create maybe a muscle suit or something to go underneath of something and kind of have that look on the outside you're wanting, or if you're trying to go for more of kind of like a Batman metallic bent metal kind of ab impression, just depends on what you're trying to go for. Here it's kind of more of like a futuristic bent metal Batman type of look, and so it's more angular and stuff like that. So once you have your outline drawn around where you want your abs so that they are symmetrical and look like what you want them to look like, then all you need to do is on the back side of your foam, here I'm using a 6mm foam, I think from TNT Cosplay Supply. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just score that outer layer, okay? Not cutting all the way through. You wanna make sure that you leave yourself at least 2mm of foam that you're not cutting through on this. So you don't wanna cut any deeper than 4mm in this case where I'm using a 6mm foam. And now, if you're wanting to get this bent metal look, instead of using an underscore here like we just did, you're going to actually use a groove cut. So I would just come along here and once again, not cutting all the way through the foam. I'm just going to go on either side of this line, cutting at an angle. So once you've got your groove cut in there and you've got the outer layer scored, then all you need to do is just hit it with some heat. You don't want to heat that up on both sides of the foam in that area. And you'll see when it starts to get soft, it'll start to kind of bend, and that score line that you did will start to open up on the outside there. All right, now I like to take the back of my honing steel. You can use the back of a screwdriver or just any kind of thing that has kind of a nice hard round plastic. And I'll cup my hand underneath the foam and kind of use that to press in this kind of bulge, right? And you can come right along the edge too. You can kind of set it down on the table. Come right along that edge that you scored as well to kind of press that in. And then once again, kind of cup it and add that curve into it. And you're just using that heat to heat it up. And then you're going to press that curve into it with your, pretty much any kind of rounded item that you can find to kind of press that in. So now from this side, you can see there's our bulge, but it's not very well defined, especially compared to this over here. You can see it's there. If you're wanting to kind of go with something that's not super well defined, more kind of like realistic, muscular looking, you can do this and just leave it at that. But if you're wanting to kind of get this really clean, sharp, bent metal type of abs, along your score lines, you're gonna just bend the foam back like this, and then you're gonna take your hot glue. Now I just have a black hot glue stick in here, so it might just kind of blend in here, but then you're just gonna run a bead of hot glue along that joint, and then once it's started to cool, you can kind of release that and let it kind of pinch together a little bit more. But now filling that gap will make the other side much more defined. Let me show you. So just now on that one little piece that we just did right there, you now can start to see a lot more definition already starting to happen right there. So now once we do that around the whole thing, we'll show you what that looks like. Look at the definition now that this has. Isn't that amazing? It just really makes it start to stand out and just really kind of really become more defined and have a lot stronger definition all around that little ab piece. So now you'll notice this one is just just rounded out and everything like that. But over here we have kind of that bent metal look on the edge for kind of that Batman or like Nightwing type of look, right? Over here, you could just stop here and keep it just kind of that nice little rounded ab piece. But I'm going to show you now how to add that extra little bent metal inside of that rounded piece. So that's what we did this groove cut for. Now you're going to just do the opposite of what you did for this. Instead of bending it back and gluing in to fill that gap, you can put contact cement down in here or just a little bead of hot glue, and you're gonna actually pinch it in on itself to glue itself together more along that groove. So you're basically trying to glue that groove kind of back together on itself, as if you're gluing those two edges together. Now you can use contact cement. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll do contact cement to begin with and kind of pinch those together and then reinforce it with some hot glue. Or you can just do the hot glue like this. You just kind of have to hold it in place a little bit longer as that glue cools. Let's take a look now at what that looks like. Look at that. Look at how clean and defined that is now. So amazing, the difference that makes when you add that in. It just adds this extra dimension to the abs, and especially when you're going for kind of that more futuristic metal or vacuum formed type of piece look. Instead of having to do multiple pieces and cut them at the right angle and glue them together to get that look, you can just do it out of one piece of foam. So anyway, I'm just gonna finish up the rest of these, and then I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'll also give you a couple extra pointers on how some different ways to do it, or maybe some different foams that you can use depending on the use case that you're looking for. All right, so I just got the rest of it all glued up, and check it out. It looks so awesome. I mean, just like, look at this. This looks so cool. This is such an awesome effect. I love using these underscores and undergrooves to be able to create these really cool bent metal looks all out of one piece of foam. So hopefully this was helpful for you to be able to see this. Now this is out of a piece of 6mm EVA foam. If you were wanting to do something that was a little bit thinner armor piece, or that you wanted to try to have kind of be more subtle, just like underneath maybe like a Spider-Man suit or something like that, to try to get kind of some ab definition, you could jump down to our What the Foam, and then you could get away with using like a 4mm foam and have an incredible hold for that, or even trying the 2mm foam. Now if you did that with the 2mm foam, it's hard to kind of score it and get that definition, and so what you would want to do is you can just use a wood burning tool to add those groove cuts and that kind of stuff, or to add those lines that you want to be able to open up. That way you just don't go too deep with it, just kind of burn those in a little bit along your design, and then you could do that same thing with the hot glue on the back and press that out. And with the 2mm, it's super, super strong, but it's going to be really flexible, move with you and everything like that, and you can kind of try to make a little waistband that has kind of those abs in it that goes around, and you can wear that underneath a suit or something like that. It'd be nice and thin. So there's some options for you. Hopefully you found this helpful. Please give this video a like if you liked it, and share it with a friend that you know does cosplay, is looking to try to accomplish this effect. It's a really cool technique using some simple things. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and cosplay on, my friend. Catch you in the next one.